Okay, good morning, everyone who's listening here to us today. This is Jen, and I'm here on Zoom with Betty Ann, and we're both team members on the seed movement. And we are here today because we wanted to have a little chat, a little conversation amongst ourselves, really to express our gratitude for what's been shared with us and to, really share our personal experience a little bit. And also, coming out of our conversation, we'd like to lead a meditation. So stay tuned if you can for the whole conversation, because we're hoping and praying that there's something helpful in it for you. Okay, so actually Betty Ann and I did a little warm up yesterday, and we had a conversation to have a conversation, and we really started back at square one. Like, what does the seed movement mean to us as individuals? And we kind of reflected on our life before and after we met. Well, but before and after I met Lynette. Of course, Betty Ann is Lynette's aunt. So it's for her, she'll tell you what it was for her. But we're going to talk about a little before and after and what the seed movement did for us, and what hopefully some of that will resonate with you. Would you like to add a couple things, Betty Ann?
I think, no, basically that is what our purpose is here today, is just to show our gratitude and to state what the seed movement has done for us, has done for me. And I think we were kind of in agreement with just how marvelous, how much of a miracle that this movement has been for us, and just to share that with people. And no, I think that was great. If you want to go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So one of the things that struck me right away was that it turned out, and I didn't know this, but Betty Ann and I have something very much in common. And I always thought I was the only one. But, here it was, the first person I talked to had a very similar experience to me, in that I went, decades, I'm going to say like 5 decades without knowing God. And it just so happened, it doesn't really matter the reason why. And I suppose, we all have our own life experiences that take us one way or another. But the fact is, I, just didn't grow up in that kind of household. I didn't have those kind of friends. Who knew God. And as a result, or, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. But I tended to accumulate friends and work situations. I put myself in positions where I still was, God was not revealed to me. Until that one day when, everything came into alignment, and Lynette was out here in the Hamptons. She was working on one of the films for the Seed, really making this beautiful effort to share her experience in crossing the veil during her near-death experience with as many people as possible, to be as helpful as possible, and to communicate these tools that she had been given. So I met her out here at a playground. Our kids were playing together, and she went straight to work on me and looked me in the eyes with those piercing blue eyes that any of us who've met Lynette, we know them eyes. And she saw through me, in me, she could see me. And I mean, the me that is God, she can see that. So, she right away, we got to work. We sat down on a park bench, inhale, exhale, bring in the light. She brought me right into these tools. That's just what we did. And it was so unusual to meet someone who had something to do and something to give and share so urgently. And from that moment on, I began my relationship with God. That's my before and after story. And to tell you the truth, it was so captivating. And the experiences are what I use the word palpable. meaning so physical and sensory. Like my experience doing these meditations with Lynette from day one, and of course it's grown and grown and grown. They're multi-dimensional sensory experiences, and as a result, they're captivating and real to me. They offer me real direction, value, security, comfort, all the things that I ever wanted and never had. Being alone, being isolated, being separate from God, and being separate from God's world, which is, all of nature, animals, and other people. Separate ultimately was exhausting and sickening to me. And that is sort of the long story short for me. And maybe I'd like to pass it over to Betty Ann for her pre-post experience.
Yeah, much the same in that growing up, when I was very young, parents didn't go to church. They did as kids. And I remember different times, different friends in the neighborhood, I'd go to church with them, go for a sleepover, whatever, and go to church with them. And at a point in time, probably around 9, 10 years old or whatever, went to mom, went to dad, kind of separately. Do you believe in God? Yes, I do. Well, then why don't we go to church? Well, I went enough as a kid, several times a week and whatnot, and that's kind of all they said. Growing older through teens, early adulthood, and so forth, I witnessed, why do you go to church? What is religion about? What is God about? And God, the word God related to religion and people who were religious and went to church, and witnessing that what they said and what they did didn't match, were two different things. Didn't always like what I heard and saw. And from those negative experiences, just would say, no, I don't believe in God. Not really understanding. Through the seed and through the meditations, and they're all just so individually purposed for different clearings of different things, and they're so helpful. They're great medicine for us to open us up and clear us. But in the book also giving us a choice of who we're calling in, whether it be God or source or sun energy or Father, Son, Mother Earth is more where I tend to go. I feel very, very close to nature and indigenous. And then through the seed movement and connections of others through the seed movement and Lynette's help and guidance, God is the spirit. God is who we are, what we are, who we are. And I just can't say enough about how it totally clarified my direction, my purpose, and I'm grateful for all of it.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, gratitude is a big reason that we're here talking, actually. We're so grateful for this, and we've been so inspired by the way Lynette has reached out to us. And, obviously I shouldn't say obviously, but FYI, if you haven't met Lynette yet, it is the most important thing. I mean, outside of her children, of course, but this is what Lynette does is, she helps us through these messages that she's been given. This is her gift, one of her spiritual gifts. And she's so inspiring. She's sharing this with us, and she has helped us immensely as a result. And Betty Ann mentioned the audios. And so the audios came maybe a couple years after I first met Lynette. So I just kind of memorized the process at first, that, deepen your breathing, bring in the light, and some of the tools. I shouldn't say the process. I memorized some of the helpful hints from heaven or tools. That's what Lynette has been revealed to call these. So I wanted to hit on this topic of what are the audios? What is the audio library? We've got about 200, approximately 200 audio meditations. And as Betty Ann said, they're like medication for, I don't know, your body, mind, body, spirit, soul, everything. They're all connected. And they could be like a prescription, like, oh, actually my joints hurt today, so there's actually a joint pain audio. Or I woke up fearful, so there's a fearlessness audio. So instead of taking a pill, you listen to an audio and connect with God and ask for help. So I wanted to say that, sometimes when I've introduced these audio meditations to people, they expect to be calmed, relaxed, and possibly be put to sleep. That is, we definitely there are tools in here that calm the central nervous system, like the deep breathing that we always begin with. And there's more. Yay, there's more. It's actually, instead of going to sleep, we're waking up and healing. And what are we waking up to? There's a lot of discussion about, okay, let's be awake. And, we're awakening, this is in my humble opinion, we're awakening to God, awakening our relationship to God, and awakening to our true self, which is God. And this is, again, my humble, summarization of what I've gathered and learned through connecting with God, is that, God's in me. God's not like over there far away up in the sky. That's like some bad story. Maybe one of the stories I was told, and so what are these audios? These are daily use audios all through the day to help us as humans, where we generally get disconnected. And so we're in this process of developing this relationship with God. And we, number one, learn how to connect, how to find God, how to seek for God, how to invite God in, and of course, how to heal. One of the first audios that I presented in a particular alcohol and drug rehab center was called No Connection. No Connection was the audio. And that's where really, if the audios had been around back then when I started, I would have started there, because I had no connection. Didn't even know there was something to connect to. So, this is like an on-ramp to this spiritual life. And what happens with that is, we're healing and clearing, let's say, the ego. The ego is like our self-centeredness, thinking that we're running the whole show and that we're in charge. It's basically idolizing ourselves instead of God. Like we're going to create everything ourselves. We're on our own. So we move our ego out of the way. We ask for help removing our fear. And what's left after we remove our ego? What's left after we remove our fear? What's left after we've asked help removing judgment, criticism, anger, traumas, blocks, negative entities? What is left after we remove our worldly behavioral patterns? What is left? And that is the big gift. It's like the God in us, our true highest selves. That is what is left after all of that stuff has been removed. And for the first time, we get to see, like I'm relatively a newcomer here, but like you get to see who am I? Who's my really true self? I've been living my life for other people, based on worldly ideas, like go run here, do this, do that, and I had no interior. I was just doing what I was told, by well-meaning people, whether it was school, parents, friends, family, whatever. But all of these are not the true highest me. And so what, again, I'm asking, going back, what are the audios? Audios are an introduction to God, relationship with God, and for me, an introduction to myself. So, another audio I'd like to mention is one that was made by another Seed team member, or he was an inspiration for it, Luigi. And Luigi noticed, and I actually, forgive me, but I can't recall off the top of my head which audio it was. And there may not be one yet, actually. But he pointed out through his story that we're all the same energy. And there is an audio that is not, that it's separate from his particular story, but it's nothing separate. It's called Oneness. And so you can listen to this audio in the library as well to get this feeling of oneness in our hearts. But Luigi, when he discovered this, he had a story, and that's what it is. It's our own personal story. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Betty Ann's word for it. Find out for yourself. Find out your relationship with God. Find out who you are by removing all the luggage, we're unpacking the bags to go somewhere. We're not packing our bags to go somewhere. We're unpacking them. And with that,
That's it exactly. Unpacking. And that's the whole purpose. That's like the prescriptions of the meditations. And like, there's so many, the titles are for each, what your needs are at the moment. There's, I think 22, I counted, self-help meditations. There's the open your organ for the soul delight, the different names of them, impassioned, oneness meditation. There's the one that you just mentioned, but they're all, so you can quickly go through the library, choose the one or the two or three that you need, because they're fairly short, so that you could do whatever your need is for the day. When you're done, okay, there are some meditations that are just instrumental and are very relaxing. I remember I used to go to yoga classes and they would do the meditation at the end and it was very quiet and there were very few other people that would start snoring. Purposes for meditation has different purposes, different meditations, different purposes. These meditations are the medicine to clear what we've been packing and pushing down inside for years. And we can lift those layers, get rid of that debris, the old luggage, the old baggage. At the end of these meditations, you are far from falling asleep. You are so energized. You can feel that spirit within you. It's just amazing. You have the strength, you have the joy and the bliss, you have the strength for something that maybe when you got up that morning didn't quite think you could do. It's amazing. It's just, I can't say anymore.
Yeah,
I'm just very grateful to have them. They're just beautiful.
Yeah, I concur with you, Betty Ann. Like, I feel limitless joy and love after doing these meditations, and never, ever, ever, ever felt that before. And that's why I come to feel that, it's real and palpable. So again, I want to invite our audience to find out for yourself. If you haven't already felt this way, if you don't know what a bursting heart of limitless joy and love is like, and like just feeling light. If you haven't experienced truly feeling light and you've heard about it, and been like blah blah blah, or I lost a few pounds and I feel lighter today. But if you're looking for that interior lightness, and frankly losing weight and becoming lighter can seriously be connected to starting from within and the lightness from within, because we replace all addictions with connection to God. And it's like, Betty Ann was talking about stuffing bags. Like, we could be stuffing our faces, with food mindlessly. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a little anxious. Don't know why, but I'm going to like pack in something. Or it could be shopping, or, obviously drugs and alcohol, or working too much, running around, losing oneself. Really, it's losing oneself. Don't know where she went.
And not facing, because you don't want to hurt. not facing different issues that need to be faced and gone through and get to the other side and get rid of it.
Wow.
Not carry it. And through the years where, who wants to face the bad stuff? So that's what I mean, packing it in and suppressing it. And finally, through the seed movement and through the meditations and just involvement in the seed with the rest of the family, peeling them off, digging them out, peeling them off, doing the meditations, doing the work, finding out, oh, that's what the light is. And it's just, you're feeling so whole. And you do feel that oneness with everyone. We are all connected. And just the joy of connecting with everybody and feeling that oneness and just helping those that need it. To me, that's what it's all about. But that's what I was saying, was suppressing the bad stuff we don't want to feel. Well, you have to face it and go through it. And the meditations help to do that, to give you that courage and that tool to be able to do that. And just, one by one, there's such a variety to choose to do. And just one by one, relieve your body of that you don't need, and that opens things up so that you can feel whole and that connection with God.
Wow. Thank you so much for reviewing that again, because facing the darkness, I call that, my lack of doing that, I call that denial. And I always have to laugh. One of these rehab centers I used to work had a sign that said, denial ain't just a river in Egypt. And it's a pretty common tool that we enjoy using to avoid or stuff down or suppress, these really negative, kind of scary traumas that we've had, or really negative experiences that we'd rather just not look at. But the cool thing, and you know what, they don't have to be just ours. They can be, again, because we keep talking about oneness, what everybody else in the world is going through. How about people in poverty? How about, this child abuse and pedophilia? Rather not look at that, but we need to be able to look at it and have the tools to clear the pain and suffering, to heal through all of our own and collective suffering and pain and fears. And that's, after I've done every meditation at least once in here, and I can tell you that the tools are here to be able, I would encourage you to give it a try, to look at something that you haven't wanted to look at, because the tools are here to clear them, and they work, and Betty and I can, testify and say that we've tried them, and it's not us that's clearing them. We're asking for help from God to clear this stuff. So we're not on our own anymore. And, I was thinking, I had thought, we could lead a meditation today. Are you ready to maybe move into the concept of okay, so we're ready to kind of begin this meditation. And I at first was thinking it was, and I still am thinking this, is like like to begin by asking you to breathe. Start your long, slow, deep breaths deep into the belly, through the nose, exhaling only through the mouth, releasing all of your fears and anxieties and doubts, watching them disappear through the tip of your tongue. And as you are enjoying relaxing and calming your central nervous system through this breathing process, I would like to mention a couple of the concepts that we talked about, just to review for you, where we see this meditation having value today, possibly, is think about and feel, what's left when the fear is gone, when the ego is gone. What's left when our ego has been removed by God? What's left when we're no longer judgmental or criticizing other people or ourselves? Who are we? Have we met our higher self yet? And what is she like, or what is he like? And the other part of this, that this meditation that we'd like you to focus on, is encouragement. And this might be the name of the meditation, is encouragement, because we'd like to invite you and encourage you to use these helpful hints from heaven, to use these tools to either meet God if you already haven't, to further develop your relationship with God if you already have one, and to learn more about who you really are, because that's basically what we've been doing and what we can tell you has been working for us. So again, we're working on our long, slow, deep breaths, inhaling deep down into the belly, 10 seconds in, 10 seconds out, exhaling only through the mouth. Relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders. And let's go to some sacred place that you either know or are just creating for the first time. Maybe you see yourself at your favorite beach on a calm day. You can see your feet on the ground. You can look out and see the horizon. The sun is just coming up. And you're having a sensory experience, feeling the sunlight on your skin. Maybe feeling a gentle breeze on your skin, hearing the water, the gentle waves just washing up on the shoreline, listening to seabirds near and far. And at this point, we're going to ask God energy to come in and please take us out of our left brain and gently place us into our right brain, where we create, where we can drop our thoughts, get out of our thinking brain, and create this meditation this morning. And now we're going to use our imagination to see this beautiful ball of white diamond crystal light hovering above the top of our head. And on my 1 count, we're going to inhale in through the top of the head. 3, 2, 1, deep inhale. Watching the ball of light, breathing it in down the eyes, down the nose, down the throat, and settling gently into the heart center. Feel the light travel through your legs and arms, your torso, and watch it travel back up through the top of your head and shine into the heavens. And here today we're going to bring in God energy. You're going to see this as gold light or sun energy, the sun. Inhaling that deeply in through the top of the head, and it's just pouring in gently in through the top of the head, into the heart, and then radiating all through our body and around our body. Watching that gold ball of light expand as far as we can see to the horizon. After all, part of this meditation is to encourage others. So we want to see our light shine far and wide. So today we're going to just go through these basic tools. I'd like to ask you to feel in your heart, how many ego selves do you see all around you at this point that are blocking you from your connection with God? I see 42. So whatever number pops into your heart, that's exactly the right number of ego selves. And we're going to ask God energy or the sunlight to come in and heal, lift and clear all of these ego selves and returning our one true self into us. And we want to watch ourselves hugging that true self, full of joy and lightness, back into our hearts. We may see ourselves as a child laughing and running to ourselves, our true self returning home. Next, we're going to ask the God energy, our God light, to please help us. Invite God in. Can you please help remove any fears we have? And if you can think of a fear in your heart right now, if something is immediately facing you today or has been in your heart, some fear, whether it's money or what's going on around us, fear about our children or family members, allow that to rest in your heart. And then on my 1 count, we're going to invite in that golden God energy in through the top of our head and release the fear through our heart in golden butterflies. On 3, 2, 1, deep inhale. Exhaling those gold butterflies, transforming the fear, the feeling of fear in our hearts, and letting God energy take that away. Watching the butterflies disappear, having transformed into something beautiful, watching them disappear on the horizon, like a stream or a river. Beautiful. And then the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to walk into the water up to our hips. And we're going to feel the waves using the water energy. We're going to ask for healing. We're actually going to lay down on our back in the water, sticking our arms out and our legs out to the side, just floating. And we're going to ask God to come in through the top of the head and remove all of our learned and conditioned patterns and knowledge of what's right and wrong, judgments. And we're going to release those out with little beautiful bubbles into the water all around our body. So we're going to inhale the gold light on my 1 count. 3, 2, 1. Inhale deeply. Exhaling all of those learned and conditioned patterns, how we're supposed to be doing things. And watch them just disappear and float away all around you. And you're free now to dive under the water, releasing any negative entities or energies or fears that hadn't quite released, feeling them slide off your body and out through the bottom of your feet. Coming up to the surface with a deep inhale, breathing in all the beautiful heavenly energies now. And here we're going to say thank you, thank you, thank you to God energy. Thank you for this time with us, God. Thank you for healing us. And let's now walk back out of the water, feeling the roots grow deep into the earth. And let's ask for the courage here from the earth, from Mother Earth, to come up into us, to encourage us, to root us between heaven and earth, to work through us, to encourage us, and to help us encourage others to have this same relationship and to experience the same healing as we've just experienced. And here we say thank you, thank you, thank you.